Hey everybody, welcome back to Laptop Seniors. Today the video is all about groceries in Colombia, what the prices are, what the grocery stores, the supermarkets look like, and that sort of thing. Of course, low cost of living is one of the big attractions for Colombia. And then when you add in Cartagena, it's the beach vibe and the ocean all around you on both sides, and and the warmth and all that other stuff. It's a lot going for it, particularly for Colombia, particularly the low cost of living, because their peso is low in relationship to the US dollar, the Canadian dollar, the euro, that kind of thing. You get a lot of bang for your buck. So that's the video today. We're going to show you real grocery prices. First, we're going to give you a little taste of what it's like in Boca Grande, in Cartagena, one of the suburbs, barrios of Cartagena, what the grocery stores look like from the outside and what's around them, and basically the neighborhoods, because there's a whole bunch of them bunched up right together, which is kind of amazing. I guess if you want food, you could go to that area and you're good to go. So I'm going to show you that first, and then at the time on the screen right now, the time that you can see there, if you want to, you can jump ahead and we'll be right inside the grocery store, and it'll be price after price after price after price. So if you're wondering what chicken costs, you're going to see it right on the screen, price per pound. Now, one of the things that I did with this, just to make it easy for everybody, I put everything into US dollars. So you'll see prices in pesos, and I converted those into US dollars. Also, what you would not know, maybe, and it's hard to see sometimes, I had to really zoom in to kind of figure it out, but a lot of things would be like, let's just say it's $4 per kilo in their money, okay? A kilogram is 1,000 grams, so you have to convert that into pounds. For North America, everything is like, I want a pound of hamburger, I want a pound of chicken, I want 2 pounds of this. So everything is converted. And lastly, there's a thing there where it goes from liters into US gallons, because I'll show you some prices at the gas stations, which are actually high there, interesting, higher than North America. So again, the time on the screen, that's if you want to jump ahead. But first, let's move on and I'll show you what the grocery stores outside look like and what they look like inside, just generally to get a feel for it. It's funny, when you're far away from this area and you're looking for a tienda, which is a supermarket, but here they have like the little tiny ones, like half the size of a 7-Eleven, and they have hardly anything in them. But right here, pretty much where the L part of the Boca Grande is, where it turns into the other little section, the spur that jumps off, there's three. There's one supermarket there, Carulla. And then here's another one right here, which is the mega store. And then there's a third one right here within, they're all within a block, which is really wild. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 grocery stores, big ones, 4 supermarkets, and a liquor store and the gas station and gym and a whole bunch of other stuff. This appears to be, if you want something, you come to this area and you're going to find it. Especially this store. This store has got pretty much everything that you'd find in in North America, organic, all that other stuff, where the other ones don't.
Fresh market, open 24 hours. I see an organic section. This is definitely upscale from the other ones we just walked in.
Bottle of oil, $35.
Second floor up there has a cafeteria. 6 caches. Bank machine. It looks very clean and tidy.
For Canadians who are watching this, obviously kick up all the prices by about 36%, because that's the exchange rate from US to Canadian. It's actually a little bit better than normal. Anyway, so for a gas station, US dollar per gallon, $3.87 regular, $4.03 for plus, and $4.94 for premium. Going to something else I happen to see here, I thought you'd be interested. If you want to buy an LG washer, $494, or a Whirlpool washer, $385. Now, to move on to the food and stuff, grocery pricings and things. This is beer. A typical 6-pack is going to be roughly $3.89 to around $4.03, somewhere in that range. Looking at milk, these are little liters of milk, and they're roughly 78 cents to $1.71 for a liter of milk. And and a lot of these are not, almost all of these actually are not refrigerated, which is kind of interesting, and they last on the shelves no problem. Instant coffee, the jars that are not the giant jars, not the small ones, the ones in the middle, $2.20. Interesting fact, you don't see it here, but the Juan Valdez coffee in Colombia is like twice the price of everything else. You'll probably find these interesting. 30 eggs, 30 in a pack, $3.14. That's kind of around $1.40 a dozen. Man, that's a long way from where prices have been in North America. And also, let's keep going. Cereal, $2.42. They're all roughly the same. Barbecue chicken, like you get at Costco, $5.12. Not that far off from Costco, oddly. Chicken breasts, if you want to get them, they're frozen, and they're $1.72 a pound. Almond milk, $5.36. When you get to stuff like almond milk or gluten-free things, they tend to be more expensive, just like back in North America. Tilapia fish, $6.43 a pound. Hamburger, $3.96 a pound. Red onions, 66 cents. Bananas, 35 cents, both per pound. Plantains, $1.22 a pound. Papaya, 28 cents a pound. That's really low, but then you're in the tropics where they come from. Capon chickens, it's kind of a little bit more tender. It's kind of almost like veal for chicken. It's a younger thing, $3.37. That'd be a pound. Beef tenderloin, $4.05 a pound. Pork, $1.43 a pound. Water, 77 cents, 20 ounces, flat or fizzy. Wine's kind of all over the place, and it sort of seemed almost a little bit more expensive than I expected it to be. It was kind of roughly around, there's cheaper and there's more expensive, but kind of the brunt was around $16, $16.60, somewhere in that range. Same thing range for toilet paper, $3.42 to $5.50. That's literally on this picture. Hair products, $4.40 to $6.11. Obviously, you can go a little bit higher, but that's kind of the range. Saw it off at $5. Mouthwash, $4.39. Toothpaste, $1.44. Doritos, $2.37 for the pack. And if you wanted soy sauce, that's $3.17. Olive oils and other oils, they weren't cheap. They were around $14. Now, it's for a full liter, so there's that. But, a lot of times you'll see like $7.50 in the U.S. or Canada, those type of bottles. But still, this is, it's not cheap. Can of tuna fish, $2.05. Canned vegetables, $1.40, somewhere in that range, $1.40 to $1.60. Fresh fish. I'm not sure what the red fish was or the black fish here. I really didn't catch the names, but they're coming in at $2.22 a pound for fresh fish. Butter, it's in the $6.40 range, roughly, give or take a few pennies here and there, and that would be for a pound of butter. Although you don't see pounds of butter there, usually you see like 500 grams or even half of that, like 250. Mostly what's used here is margarine. You see that way more on the shelves. Ice cream, this is a surprise, $8 to $9 US dollars for, what would be the size of a typical Haagen-Dazs. Salt is 28 cents in these packs, up to, $1.29, $1.30 if you want to go for the exotic Himalayan salt. Organic chocolate. You look at that price and go, ooh, $15,200. Wow, that's probably heavy duty. But then you look at bars like $3.71. And finally, almonds, $2.68. There's 200 grams, which is kind of about the same pack size that you'd get in North America, $2.68. Well, what would that be at home? Probably $4 or $5. If you have been wondering about Colombia and what it costs to live there and things about it, hopefully this video has helped you a lot to get a feel for what it's going to cost you to live there grocery-wise and, eating and things like that. If you like this video, hit the like button, and for sure, by all means, subscribe. That really helps the channel. The more subscribers, the more people know about us, the more YouTube pushes us. and all that good stuff. So until the next video, bye for now.